Hello and welcome to the TFJJ. So today I am at Duke of London to see the Lotus Emira, which I have specced up and ordered just behind me. That's not the exact car. We're going to get a proper look around this show car a little bit later. But yeah, very excited, and I will show you the spec that I've gone for as well. So we've got this stunning Lotus Exige that's also here. This is a supercharged V6. Lovely silver wheels. Nice dark green, slightly different to the dark green that's available on the Emira. But I really like that. So we've got a little configurator here. I'm just going to walk you through the spec that I did on the car. So first off, powertrain. I went for the V6 supercharged and the manual, which you get a limited slip differential as well. Now you've got sports and touring chassis. I went for touring because I'm going to use this on the road rather than on track. Next was paint. I like that blue, it does look good. As you can see, it's slightly different in real life compared to the configurator. The light grey was nice as well. I will talk you through the colours a little bit later in more depth, but I went for the dark verdant, which is a nice dark green metallic colour. You need to get it in the sun really on the little model to see it properly, but it's got really nice metallic fleck in it, really subtle. I went for the lower black pack just because I didn't want a black roof, didn't want too much contrast on the exterior. And then wheels and brakes, I went for the silver wheels rather than the diamond cut. I think the all in silver, you can see the design much nicer. And then I went for black brake calipers as well. Don't want any silly bright contrasting colours. And then you only get one option for tyres, so I left that. Next was the interior. Black leather's nice, but I went for the tan, which I think looks really good on the car, contrasts so nicely with the green. So yeah, left that there. And then with the steering wheel, I went for the black Alcantara to add a nice little sporty touch. And I think it will age nicer than the leather as well. And then of course you get that amazing shifter there. And there's the exterior of the car. I'm also going to not spec privacy glass, so you can really see the interior for that contrast. But yeah, that's how I spec'd mine. Hopefully it all goes through okay. I paid the second deposit now on the car, and it's due to arrive spring next year. So yeah, we'll see. So I've actually got the green, which I've spec'd on my car here in the sunshine, sort of, outside. It's very dark, but it's a beautiful metallic green. I'll just show you with a light on it as well. It should really pop in the sun. So here we've got some of the colour options on the Emira. Yellow looks really good, grey.
It poured rain and we pulled the sheets off the car. We had around 1.2 million people worldwide watching the event on a live stream on YouTube. We knew a long time ago in the product development meetings that I was in 18 months, 2 years ago, that we created something pretty special. The way the car looked, the technical partnerships within Geely that we've now got access to, and the price point that we aimed for, we knew was going to be spectacular. But then when we showed the car a couple of days after the initial launch at Goodwood, and we set a new deposit system, direct deposit system live, and we basically started the clock on deposit taking, we very quickly knew it was something very special. We took a lot of deposits, we kept taking a lot of deposits.
I speak on behalf of everybody back at Lotus Cars. We're absolutely blown away by the response of the customer base, everybody who's seen the car, everybody who's fallen in love with it. We think that this is the most accomplished road car that we've ever built. And we've been doing this now for quite some time, 73 years in total. And I think the common theme with all of them is they're just all fantastic to drive, which is why we came up with this strapline recently, which is for the drivers. And I think some of the reasons for that is that we do things very differently to a lot of other mainstream car companies. We're not mainstream. I think we're an awful lot more maverick, particularly in our engineering. I'll start at the front, and we've got a very typical Lotus mouth at the front of this car, and it's flanked by a couple of grills which I'll come to in a moment. But I think one of the purposes of the front mouth, obviously styling, cooling, most definitely, but it's airflow management. We now start to control the air that's going into that front mouth. There's no sort of access point underneath here. This front floating surface will lift. Underneath you've got fuses, relays, you've got a brake master underneath there. But in actual fact, there's a rather large pressure duct that sits underneath this floating structure, and we control the airflow underneath using that duct. But we don't waste the air. If you think about most cars, air's coming in, it'll cool an engine, and what happens to it afterwards? It's kind of wasted. It just finds its way out of passengers in the car. We don't waste it, we use it. We evacuate that air out of that pressure duct through these evacuation slots just in the side here. That gives us also a really nice feature line that runs around. And this feature line, you'll have seen this before on the Evija. So that was a design process called porosity, whereby the car doesn't have a petrol engine. A lot of that body is actually hollow. Well, it's hollowed out and use of airflow. So that styling structure from the front of Evija, very evident on the front of Emira. As the air's coming out of here, residual air will come over the front, it'll come over the screen, and it will wash down the side. Now, this is a really good point. There are two major enemies in aero. One is lift and one is drag. Drag makes the car inefficient. You get a big wake of air either side, a bit like you see on a boat as it cuts its way through the water. We don't want wash. We want to keep that airflow controlled. We want to keep it tight, and we want to keep it stuck to the side of the car. So as it's coming through around the side, you will notice as you look at the side of the car, we've got two very strong feature lines. One's coming off the back here and it comes down. The other one's much gentler and it comes around the side and goes around the side of the inlet tracks or the ducts. You'll notice those two lines do not intersect. And the reason for that is we now start to create a pressure core vortex. That keeps the air tight to the side of the car, introducing therefore then a ram air effect into the ducts. The one on the near side here is for inducted air that the engine needs to combust. The faster it goes through the air, the more air it needs. The one on the other side is for thermal management in the engine bay. It's cooling the engine bay. If we look at the side of the car in profile, air's coming over the front, it's coming over the glass house, over the top, over the rear glass house, and over this ducktail at the back. And it's creating, therefore, then a low pressure zone. And I love this bit. As the car's punching its way through the air, it actually sucks in cooling air under the glass, spits it round, and evacuates hot air, punching it out through these 6 ducts at the either side of the glass house.